I hope all of you are fine. Let's start our lesson. Today's lesson is about comparatives and superlatives. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to compare the way people do things by using words like faster or more quickly. This is Aim High 3, Unit 7, the student book, page 61. Let's first recap your memory about forming comparative and superlative adjectives through some exercises. Before we do this exercise, let me remind you what is the difference between comparative and superlative. Comparative adjectives are used to compare the difference between one noun to another noun, like larger or smaller. But the superlative adjectives are used in a sentence where a subject is compared to a group of objects, like the tallest or the smallest. Now let's look at this exercise. Here I have the first adjective is young. The comparative form of young is younger, and here I'm comparing one noun to another noun. And the superlative form is the youngest. Here I'm comparing one object to more than one object, like 2, 3, and so on, etc. The second adjective I have is heavy. Heavy, the comparative form is heavier, and the superlative form is the heaviest. These are called short adjectives, which means they have only one syllable. So, what about long adjectives? Long adjectives mean it has more than one syllable, like expensive. In the comparative form, I add more expensive than. The superlative form, I add the most expensive. Let's have a look at some other long adjectives, like interesting. Interesting has 4 syllables. The comparative form is more interesting than, and the superlative form is the most interesting. Let's have a look to another one, dangerous. 3 syllables. The comparative is more dangerous than, and the superlative form is the most dangerous. This was just a recap for forming comparative and superlative adjectives. Now, let's move to comparing the way people do things, which means using comparative and superlative adverbs. Let's have a look at these few sentences first. I have Joe drives fast. He drives faster than Sylvia, but Sylvia drives more carefully than Joe. Fast and carefully, these are called adverbs. We're going to study how to use them in the comparative and superlative form today. You're going to learn how to compare actions with adverbs. Add er to short adverbs, add more the to long adverbs, and make sentences using them. Look at this table first. Adverbs to compare: harder, faster, louder, more quickly, more carefully, and more quietly. All of these are called adverbs. Apparently, you can see 2 types. Ones end in er, like harder, louder, and ones end in more quickly, more quietly. So what's the difference? So far, as you can see, everything you've learned about comparing adjectives also applies to comparing adverbs. So what's the difference? What's an adverb, and what's the difference between comparing with adjectives or with adverbs? Adverbs are words that describe how a verb is done. So the adverb adds more information about the verb. Let's see how. Here we have 2 sentences. Joe is older than Sylvia, and Joe drives faster than Sylvia. We have older, faster. Which one of them is an adjective and which one of them is an adverb? Excellent. Older is an adjective, faster is an adverb. Here I'm using the comparative form for both of them. As you can see, the adjective ends in er and the adverb ends in er. So what's the difference? So I used ER in both adjective and adverb, but the focus of each one of them is different. In the first sentence, I'm comparing two people. I'm comparing Joe to Sylvia. However, in the second one, I'm comparing the way they drive, the way they do things. I'm comparing the way Joe drives to the way Sylvia drives. Joe drives faster than Sylvia. So faster describe the verb drives. It adds more information about the way Joe drives. Let's check more examples to understand the meaning of the adverb more. Here I have Sam sings beautifully. So how does Sam sing? He sings beautifully. So this adverb adds more information about the singing of Sam. Sumin programs elegantly. Here again it adds more information about the way Sumin programs. John plays the piano skillfully. Skillfully adds more information to the way John plays the piano. How does he play the piano? Skillfully. Very nice. I hope you understand now the meaning of the adverb. In the next example, we'll see how to form a comparative statement using adverb.
This is Sumin, and this is Jack. Hi. Sumin programs elegantly. Jack, not so much. Here's the comparative statement. Sumin programs more elegantly than Jack does.
Let's move. Here I have less and least. We can also form comparatives and superlatives with the adjectives and adverbs with less and the least. Less is the opposite of more. Least is the opposite of most. Let's have an example. Sue is less popular than John. Sue is the least popular. Who finished the exercise least quickly? Let's look at this example. Let's look at this example. We have Emily. She says, "I'm not very interested in dinosaurs." And we have Tyler, who says, "I'm very interested in dinosaurs." Let's make a comparative and superlative form from these two sentences. Tyler is more interested in dinosaurs than Emily. What if I want to use Emily first? I want to start the sentence with Emily. Emily is less interested in dinosaurs than Tyler. So less is the opposite of more. What if I want to start with Emily, but in the superlative form? Emily is the least interested in dinosaurs. Here, I'm comparing Emily to the rest of the classroom. Emily is the least interested in dinosaurs. Now, I want you to open your student book, page 61. Grammar, comparatives and superlative, explore the first exercise. I want you to pause the video, read the text, and complete it with the comparative or superlative form of the adjectives between the brackets. Then play the video again, listen, and check your answers.
Unit 7, page 61. Grammar. Explore. Exercise 2. Listen and check. Modern life is becoming faster and more hectic, but at the same time, people are becoming more isolated. These days, people in their 20s and 30s are finding it more difficult to socialize because they work harder and have more limited social circles. It's more common for people to work freelance, and people often live far away from their families. They can make friends at work, but for many, friendship societies are a more effective option because they allow them to meet a lot of people more quickly and in a less stressful environment. These groups organise social activities like group holidays, yoga classes, talks and demonstrations. Some societies even offer advice lines and financial help to members. You probably won't get on with everyone, but there will be someone you get on with the best and find you have the most in common with. It may be easier than it used to be to make friends with the help of these new groups. For many, it's the simplest and most sensible choice. These societies can also offer the least dangerous choice as you are in a registered group.
I hope you got all the answers correct. Now let's check your answers. The first one is faster. The second is more hectic, more isolated, more difficult, more limited, more effective, easier, simplest, and most sensible. That's all for now. See you next lesson and have a good day. See you later.